Hello and welcome. This is the combined services of Caliphate TV and Radio Sokoto. It's nice to have you on this special edition of the program, Nigeria Unwrapped 2025 Highlight. As we wish you a happy new year, we intend to provide you with a recap of the major happenings in the previous year, 2025. In the show today, we'll be giving you highlight of the major happenings that occurs during 2025 from 8th January to 8th December. I am Mukhtar Igwanga, your host for the day. Welcome back. As you heard earlier, the show Nigeria Unwrapped is designed to provide viewers and listeners with a highlight of the major happenings in the year 2025 across all aspects of human interest, ranging from security, education, health, agriculture, and many more. And to start the show, we will be starting with the most important aspect of life, absence of which is absence of life, that is the security sector. The year 2025 was marked with significant security challenges and wins on the other hand. On January 18th, for instance, a tragedy rocked Suleja in Niger State as a fuel tanker overturned and exploded on a busy road. Scores of civilians were collecting spilled fuel when the tanker detonated, killing over 100 people. The incident took place at Dikko Junction near Suleja, Niger State. Also on June 4th, 2025, armed militants attacked a mining site, killing 2 police officers and abducting 2 workers, including 1 Chinese national. The incident occurred at Orekeoke in Ifeodu local government area of Kwara State. Still in June 2025, on the 20th of the month, a female bomber planted a bomb which detonated at a crowded market, killing 12 to 24 people and injuring many others. This occurs in Kondunga area near Maiduguri, Borno State. On the 8th month of the year, which is August, there were serious security challenges in northwestern part of the country, specifically in Katsina State, where armed bandits attacked worshippers in the mosque in the early morning prayer, killing at least 17 civilians. This happens at Unguan Mantau Malumfashi local government area of Katsina State, signaling expanding banditry in the northwest and direct attack on civilians in places of worships. It doesn't stay there because in November 2025, there were worrisome reports of bandit operation in schools and worship centers, with bandits abducting 25 girls and killing 2 teachers in Maga Town, Kebbi State. Furthermore, more than 250 students and staff were abducted from St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State. This occurs on November 21st, 2025. The incident occurred in Papiri in Niger State, the country's north central. This event was part of the larger trend of abductions affecting schools in the area, with another incident reported earlier in the month where around 100 individuals were taken. The major trend in December 2025 happened on 19th of the month, where the U.S. African Command, AFRICOM, carried out airstrike targeting Islamic State affiliates in cooperation with Nigerian authorities in Bauni Forest of Tangaza local government area of Sokoto State. This act leaves much noise on the impact of the interception, with so many analysts and stakeholders praising and some faulting Nigerian government for allowing the interception. Debris of the airstrike were found in Jabo Town, Tambo local government area of Sokoto State and some parts of Kwara State. Still, in December, on the Christmas Eve, an explosion rocks a mosque during evening prayers, killing at least 5 people and wounding others. Official linked the blast to an explosive device, IED. This occurs in Gambaru Market Mosque in Maiduguri, Borno State. The incident resulted in at least 5 fatalities and injuring over 35 people. Still in December, which is the last month of the year, an improvised explosive device detonated on the Magami Dansadao highway in Moru local government area of Zamfara state. At least 7 to 9 people were killed. The victims included travelers on motorcycles and passengers in a trailer. The blast occurred on Saturday, 27th December afternoon between the villages of Ergada and Meihayahaya. Security sources attributed the explosive to bandits fleeing from recent military pressure, specifically those loyal to Kingpin Dogo Gede. Just a day after the explosion of the IED along the Moru Road, a joint security team foiled a major kidnapping attempt in Moru metropolis. The armed bandit attempted to invade the town in the early hours of Sunday with the intent of conducting a mass abduction. A combined team of police, military, community protection guard, and vigilantes engaged the attackers in a gun duel. The bandits were forced to retreat into bush. No abductions of civilians casualties were recorded during this specific operation. And that is it from the security sector. We hope more will be done in ensuring the safety of the populace, and the stakeholders should do all they can to make sure that this 2026 such things have not happened, as the peace may reign in our country. From the security sector, we now move to the health sector, which is among the major concerns of every country. Hajara Usmana Tajri have filed the happenings in the year 2025 in the health sector, and here is her report.
Health sector in Nigeria is faced with numerous achievements and challenges, with the year starting with an outbreak whereby in the early January, Nigeria recorded 54 Lassa fever confirmed cases and 10 deaths in the first epidemiological week. These are derived from Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, Taraba, Ebonyi, Kogi, and other states in the country. This development highlights the persistent risks of seasonal outbreak and strain on health services. On the 7th day of March, after a long delay, Nigeria received a shipment of leprosy multi-drug therapy donated through the World Health Organization and partners. This move helped restore essential treatment for leprosy patients whose care had been disrupted, reducing risks of disability and complications. The month of April to May of the preceding year was rocked with difficult health concerns, where heavy rainfall and flooding, especially during the Mokwa floods of late May, caused widespread displacement, destroyed infrastructure, and disrupted access to clean water and health services. At least 538 fatalities were recorded in flood-related health emergencies. This resulted in increased risks of waterborne diseases such as cholera, injuries, disruption of vaccination campaigns, and strain on health infrastructure. Another great health concern was witnessed June last year in Zamfara State, where cholera spread through 11 rural communities in Bukuyum district, with over 200 infections and at least 8 deaths were recorded. Limited healthcare access and ongoing security issue hampered treatment and containment.
That is the report by Hajara Usmana Tajiri. The show, Nigeria Unwrapped, is coming your way on Caliphate TV, transmitted on channel 141 on Star Times, and Caliphate Radio, transmitted on 91.9 MHz and on www.caliphatebroadcast.com. You can still watch the show on YouTube at Caliphate TV and Radio, and on Facebook at Caliphate TV. From the health sector, we now move to politics, which make much noise in the preceding year and about to make noise in this year, as it is just 1 year to the country's general elections. The year 2025 started with debate over reports of corruption, governance, and democratic accountability which remains central in Nigeria's political discourse, with civil society and media continuing to highlight concerns about transparency and public trust nationwide. On March 18, President Bola Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State due to political turmoil and rising insecurity, suspending Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, and the State House of Assembly for 6 months. This triggered legal and political backslash over constitutional authority and democratic norms. Still in March, the National Assembly formally resumed the review of constitutional amendment efforts involving numerous bills, including proposal on judicial independence, electoral reform, and potential establishment of state police, reflecting active legislative engagement and governance reforms. From May to December of the year, a significant wave of defection saw opposition figures and governors, including those of the major opposition party PDP, moving to the ruling All Progressive Congress ahead of the 2027 general elections, consolidating APC dominance and weakening competitive party dynamics. It was in the same year political moguls teamed up in a move to unseat the country's president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where they formed a harmonized platform, ADC. Politicians such as the ex-Kaduna governor Nasir El-Rufai, the presidential candidate of the PDP in the 2023 general elections and former vice president to the country, Atiku Abubakar, as well as Peter Obi of the Labour Party, among other dignitaries, organized the move, with some already joining the party, ADC, and others on the way. In continuing debate of the new tax reform bill, which made a lot of noise in the previous year, on 30th December, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced that there is no going back on the implementation of extensive new tax laws from January 1st, 2026. The move was aimed at boosting revenue and tax compliance, drawing criticisms and support on governance grounds and fiscal policy. All these happenings were witnessed in the previous year, 2025. What are we about to witness in this current year, 2026? From the politics, we now move to energy sector, where Hajara Osman Tajiri filed the happenings.
In energy sector, Nigeria attained both success and failures, where in 2nd March, Nigeria hit a historic peak electricity generation of 6,003 megawatts nationwide, making it the highest recorded in the country's history. This marked a significant improvement in electricity supply reliability and increased power availability supports businesses, households, and industrial growth. On the 10th March of the year, Nigeria signed a $200 million agreement with Wheelite and partners to deploy hundreds of renewable mini-grids. This was witnessed in various rural/urban communities, Nigeria. The project includes 400 mini-grids and 50 metro grids, expanding the share of renewables in the energy mix. In the first quarter of the year, the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano AKK gas pipeline reached 72% completion by end of March, a major infrastructural milestone. The move strengthened national gas distribution network, linking southern gas reserves to the north. The project is expected to support electricity generation, industrial growth, and reduce gas flaring. In June 2025, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) reported 100% crude pipeline availability in June 2025, an operational milestone. This was announced on 1st July, a report that signals ensuring full functioning of pipeline systems for transporting crudes, improving productivity efficiency. On 15th of August, Dangote Refinery launched a major nationwide fuel distribution program, one of the most ambitious in Nigeria's downstream sector. Dangote invested about 720 billion naira to deploy 4,000 compressed natural gas powered trucks for direct delivery of petrol and diesel. The company announces the sales of gantry price at 669 naira per litre, promising 10th-day credit facility for both new and existing customers.
Even though Nigeria's authorities, such as Transmission Company of Nigeria, have at times differentiated between grid collapse and grid disturbances or line tripping. There are some events that disrupted industrial productivity in the country in the preceding year. For instance, on the 12th of February, Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company and Abuja Electricity Distribution Company publicly confirmed power outage in their networks. The outage was triggered by a transmission line in this incident that caused system instability and drop in generation output. Similarly, on 7th March, a national grid collapse occurred around 2 p.m., with major distribution companies reporting a system outage that affected their supply. Ikeja Electric and Eco Electric Distribution Company confirmed the outage, with restoration efforts starting at the time. In addition, on the 10th of September, electricity load declined sharply as generation output dropped dramatically. According to Independent System Operation (NISO), the national grid collapsed in the late morning after generating unit tripped, triggering a cascade failure. Restoration after began promptly, with priority given to areas like Abuja, where Shiroro hydropower was used to help stabilize supply. Still in the same year, on December 29th, the grid collapsed, causing a dramatic drop in distributing electricity. Many major distribution companies received 0 or very low megawatt of supply at peak outage. Only 2 discos recorded minimal supply. Those are Ibadan, which recorded 30 megawatt, and Abuja 20 megawatt, while others showed 0 megawatts. Officials attributed the failure to systematic generation shortfall and transmission issues, with restoration efforts underway as of the time of the event. That is it from the energy sector. Let us regain energy by this musical interlude, and the program continues thereafter. Viewers and listeners, stay tuned.
Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom reigns and truth prevails, our land where there's hope for us all. Our land where there's hope for us all.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. I hope you will have enjoyed this break. This is the show, Nigeria Unwrapped 2025 Highlights. Coming your way on Caliphate TV, transmitted on channel 141 on Star Times, and on YouTube at Caliphate Radio and Television, and on Caliphate Radio, transmitted on 91.9 MHz, and on www.caliphatepodcast.com. In the show, we are bringing highlights of the happenings in the previous year, 2025. Moving on is the history we gained from 2025 in the agricultural sector. As we close the curtains on 2025, the Nigerian agricultural sector stands at a crossroad of remarkable resilience and deep-seated structural pain. Despite the headlines of hardship, 2025 recorded a statistical and practical growth that provide a lifeline to the national economy. For example, in the second quarter of 2025, the agricultural sector expanded by 2.82%. It is highest significant growth since the National Bureau of Statistics shared its reportings. This growth was driven primarily by a strong harvest season for staples like rice, maize, and yams. Also, a technical victory occurred mid-year when food inflation figure appeared to crash from over 39% in the late 2024 to roughly 22% by July 2025. While this happened largely due to new calculation method, which is rebasing, it provided the psychological and policy breathing room needed for further investments. Furthermore, 2025 saw the launch of the National Tractor Census, which for the first time gave the government data-driven insight into where machines were needed most. This led to targeted hiring scheme that helped young farmers scale up production. On the negative aspects, ironically, one of the biggest failures for farmers was the price crash in the late 2025. As bumper harvest hit the market, farm gate price plummeted. Many farmers who brought fertilizer at peak price, that is 50,000 plus per bag, had to sell their crops at a loss, leading to a rural poverty surge despite high national output. Also, Nigeria still lost an estimated 30 to 40 of its harvested food in 2025 due to bad roads and hot trucks. The inability to move food efficiently from Benue or Kano to Lagos meant that while farmers had surplus, urban consumers still felt the pinch of high transport driving costs. Despite military success mentioned in the security report, pockets of fear remained in parts of the northwest, southwest, and some other parts of the country. Farmers remain hesitant to return to distant farmland due to sporadic herder-farmer clashes, leaving thousands of hectares of fertile land uncultivated. And this, we hope, will make our stakeholders do more in this year in scoring our farmers so that we can have adequate food. The sports sector was not left untouched in the preceding year, as in the year, Nigeria's Super Falcons clinched their 10th African Women's Cup of Nations title, beating host Morocco 3-2, a continental triumph that underscored Nigeria's leadership in women's football. The match was played at Rabat, Morocco on July 26th. Still in the sporting arena, a tragedy occurs in the history of sports in Nigeria, where a bus carrying Kano State athletes, coaches, and officials returning from the National Sport Festival in Ogun State overturned after losing control on the Dekas-Ale and Chiromawa Bridge. The crash, which occurred on May 31st, killed at least 22 athletes and officials, injuring others, a tragedy that deeply shocked Nigeria's sporting community. Following the incident on 2nd June, Kano State Governor declared a public holiday in memory of the fallen athletes and condolences poured in the nation, highlighting the deep impact of the tragedy on Nigeria's sport and communities. Also, on December 30, 2025, Nigeria defeated Uganda 3-1 in a 2025 African Cup of Nations for the male, showing competitive strength in continental competition following earlier setbacks made by the Super Eagles. The history of 2025 cannot be told without mentioning Wike Yerima saga. A video was found circulating widely showing a heated verbal confrontation between Nyesom Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and Lieutenant A.M. Yerima of the Nigerian Navy. The interaction occurred during a dispute over access to a parcel of land in the capital.
And this is government. You cannot be higher than any government. You cannot be carrying gun to intimidate people to not to do their work.
Social media users quickly turned this serious encounter into a viral content with memes, debate, and commentary on the dynamics between powerful politicians and a uniformed officer going everywhere online. The 2025 did not go alone. It passed away with some prominent and influential Nigerians. Here are some of the Nigerians we lost in the year 2025. From the political and national leaders, Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives, Honorable Adewumi Onanuga, died at age 60 after a brief illness on January 15, 2025. Also on February 14th, PA Ayo Adebanjo, leader of the Pan-Yoruba group Afenifere, passed away peacefully at home at the age 96. Still, on February 17th, 3 days after the death of Adebanjo, Chief Edwin Clark, who is the Ijo national leader and former federal commissioner, died at 98 after respiratory complications. Dr. Doyin Okupe died on March 7th after a prolonged illness, which is suspected to be cancer. Doyin Okupe was former presidential spokesperson and the Director General of Peter Obi's 2023 campaign. A prominent Sunni and Izala cleric based in Bauchi, who is known for his teaching at the Dutz Intanshi Majlis, Dr. Idris Abdul Aziz Dutz Intanshi, died on April 4th. He died after battling with an undisclosed long-term illness. Also, on June 2025, former governor of Kwara State and ex-minister Cornelius Adebayo died at the age 84. A business tycoon, Alhaji Aminu Alhassan Lentata, passed away at the United Arab Emirates Abu Dhabi at age 94 in June. A one-time Nigerian military head of state and the president of the Nigeria from 2015 to 2025, President Muhammadu Buhari, died on July 13 after a brief illness at London, aged 82. The grand leader of the Tijaniya Sufi order in Nigeria and a renowned Quranic scholar, Sheikh Tahir Usman Bauchi, passed away on November 26th. He passed away at age 98, with some people reporting his age to 102 following a brief illness. Still among the leaders, we lost the Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, who slumped and died while working in his office, that is Lawrence Eruda Japo, on December 11 in the year. On entertainment and media, Anike Abaje Williams, who is the first Africa's TV face and voice, died peacefully in Ibadan at age 88 on February 26. Somtochukwu C. Maduagu, Arise TV journalist, tragically killed during an armed robbery attack at her home on September 29th of the year. Dana Bese, influential veteran journalist and columnist, passed away at age 81 on November 17th. On the spot, Nigeria lost a great footballer who died at age 29 following a motorcycle accident in Kampala, Uganda, Abubakar Lawal, on February 23rd. In a rare and a somber event, on the 24th of December 2025, the Kano State House of Assembly lost two prominent members on the same day, sending the state into a period of deep mourning. The deceased were Honorable Aminu Saadu Ungogo, the lawmaker representing Ungogo constituency and the chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation. He reportedly collapsed at the assembly complex shortly after arriving for his duties. He was then rushed to the hospital where he was confirmed dead. The second legislator was Honorable Sarki Aliyu Daneji, lawmaker representing Kano Municipal Constituency, who tragically passed away barely an hour after the news of his colleague's death, Honorable Aminu Saad, was announced. The near simultaneous loss of two legislators shocked the entire Nigerian political space. Memories of these great leaders will never be forgotten. May their soul rest in peace. And with that, we come to the end of today's edition of the program, Nigeria Unwrapped 2025 Highlight. We do hope you've enjoyed viewing the show on Calipet FM 91.9 MHz and Calipet TV, transmitted on channel 141 on Star Times. On behalf of the production crew and the staff and the management of Calicut Radio, Nagar FM, and Calicut TV, we wish you a seamless and happy New Year. I am Muktari Gonga saying, enjoy your day.